Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I apologize to anyone watching on YouTube right now. Yes, I'm wearing a 49ers sweatshirt. You guys know I dress for fit and comfort. That's it. So this is not a slight at the Lions. I am thrilled that Ben Johnson is back. I'll say that. That is fantastic news for our Detroit Lions. And I will say we weren't here yesterday. I apologize for that. But we had quite a bit of snow yesterday come down, and it was kind of nuts over here. And I texted E in the afternoon. I was like, hey, do you want to come over? And he was like, I had a little trouble getting out of the driveway.
Yeah,
today,
our
so.
neighborhood's a little weird sometimes as far as like when because our neighborhood is technically plowed by the county.
City, yeah.
So it's not going to be like first on the agenda.
Yeah.
Now it's funny. I also thought it was supposed to snow.
No, they didn't do mine until like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually thought it was supposed to snow the rest of the day too. Like originally I thought it was going to continue through like 5, 6, 7 o'clock. And then I was like, dude, if it's going to be like that. Like,
Yeah. We probably could have. I even thought about calling you.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I already told him he's doing his thing.
I actually thought the same thing. I thought later in the day and I was like, I was sitting at home watching. I got it. Did you ever watch this, dude, back in the 90s? I like getting into older shows sometimes because the whole season's there.
Yeah, because regular TV now sucks.
Well,
so,
the whole series is there and shit, and you can just roll through it.
Yeah.
Northern Exposure. Did you ever get into that?
No, but I mean I know of it.
Yeah. It's pretty
Is
good.
that I don't even know what it's about.
It's kind of it's not Twin Peaks.
Okay, I was going to say weirder. Twin Peaks or something like that. Is it like
it's not as weird as Twin Peaks, but it is like it takes place in this fictional, I guess, Alaska town where
I was thinking Oregon Woodsy.
Some young Jewish doctor gets, you have to have a reason up there. So he thinks he's going somewhere else. He ends up in this big northern Alaska. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I got into it, and so yes, I thought maybe we could have. I thought, the road's kind of clear a little bit now. I was like, I don't know. I'm watching these episodes. And
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm in my basement.
I'm lazy. Don't
I can
worry
see the
about
snow from out there.
Yeah. No, I felt a little guilty last night. I was like, probably, but it was coming down hard.
In the day, it was
hours.
pretty crazy, dude. For sure.
So, anyways, that's why we weren't here. We'll try to make up for it today. I promise. Lot going on. I did want to say the woke Bay Garrett is here. Hello, Garrett. It's his first day here. I've told a lot of you guys kind of the plans, and so I was like, Garrett, why don't you come over this week and kind of shadow E, just get kind of a sense of things and
here I am.
So welcome, buddy. It's good to see you again.
How's
you look
it going?
great.
Oh, thank you for having me again.
Yeah. Any new tats I need to know about?
Actually, I think since the last time I've been here, I got this little one with a raccoon holding a gun, and it says, "Give me chaos or give me death."
Okay, I like it. Just black and white.
Just like most of them are black and white. I got some color,
a little bit of red. Yeah,
bit of red.
Yeah. Primus T-shirt.
Yeah,
great band. I love it.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Do you really? Concert.
Really?
I was 12 years old. My dad took me to see Primus for the first time at the Fillmore, and
I've
seen him probably 2 other times since. I catch him whenever I can.
Dude, we had a picnic with him.
Oh, don't flex on me like
Talking
that.
to Les Claypool at a picnic in our backyard at Riff.
Don't
Yeah,
like
I know.
that to me.
Dude, there are certain things in life where it's like, I can't believe I did that. And I was like your age at that point. And it was like, and Les Claypool's goofy and it's like, we're having this stupid like Riff barbecue with Primus and a handful of listeners before their show at Pine Knob or something that night. And it was like,
I was probably going to that show that night.
Yeah, maybe.
Depending on what time.
You would have been. You
older.
were so young, dude. This would have been late '90s, maybe.
Oh yeah, I was out.
Yeah, early 2000s perhaps, but I want to say late 90s. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and I love that stuff because I was the huge fan growing up of all those bands. Like I looked up to all of them, and it's I can't believe who's in this building right now. I just can't. Holy shit! Like all the time. It was wild. But welcome, my friend.
Thank
you. I thought about you a lot when I was thinking of restructuring the show. I thought you'd be a good fit. Kind of what made the Drew and Mike show work as well as it did on some levels was Mark and I were the kids then. We were the young guys, and they were a little older, and so we kind of kept them up on what was going on, and and it just kind of worked. There was a balance.
Well, I get it. You're just trying to get the variety of people hosts.
Yeah, it helps. It always helps. Easus is younger than me, and he's his own.
But now the thing is, though,
now you're an old man.
I know I am younger than you, but I'm not like I don't feel like a young guy who's bringing you the young perspective
No.
You know what I mean?
You're a whole different treat.
Right.
Like, you're a whole different treat.
Although I used to always say to my friends, like when people say, "Oh, do the kids still say this?" I fucking was saying that at 20. I never knew really what was cool.
Yeah.
I would say anyway.
No, that's true.
But it's just kind of funny because you say that about him. Like when we first started this show, I think a little like I could be like, this is what. We're doing.
But you have a tendency to get into things after they're cool.
That is true.
You know what I mean? True. Like you get into Blink 182 late.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
So it's not like you're at the cutting edge hanging out at clubs finding the new bands.
I agree. I think that I agree with that. Yeah. I think that I find what I find when I find it, and I like it when I like it, I guess. But,
yeah.
I mean, here I am currently watching a show right now from fucking 91. So what does that fucking say? So,
yeah, there you go. Is that when it's from, 91?
Ish, 90, late 90s or something like that, or 80s.
Well, so anyways, I had thought about Raj Sharma and Garrett, and all bringing different elements and perspectives and life experience, and I thought that would be a good thing. I also am not immune to the fact of what I've typically had here and what the show has been.
I was about to say, you just had to get rid of all the straight white guys trying to give the show a little bit of a bump.
Right. No, it wasn't that. Because it makes my show way easier, believe me. If it's just people that think like me in here, it's like, yeah, get them. That part. But you're like you're even weirder because
I'm a libertarian gay. It's
a libertarian gay. Yeah, it's wild.
Yep.
But you and I see the world kind of in a lot of similar aspects and musical interests, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And but what I was gonna say, because I'm open to everything, I don't give a shit.
Although I would say you really are just dipping your toe because he's still white.
Yeah,
it's like I'll let a gay in, but they better be fucking white.
I don't want a black gay here.
I can't jump in the deep end first try.
Yeah, exactly. No baby fun, no infant. You start in the baby pool.
Right.
This is my version. Thank you for pointing that out, Isis. But no, I worried more about the audience, and you get a really warped perspective because there's way more people listening than will ever reach out to you or make comments on Facebook, and even though that's watered down, you don't even see a fraction of the people that are listening based on Facebook or anything like that, and even less will email you. Very few people will email, reach out, and so the ones that do tend to have pretty strong opinions. They're pretty set in their ways, and there's plenty of emails I don't read to you on the air when it's like, okay, even for me, that's a bit much.
I think James' ears are burning right now.
James,
talking about
James is one of them, and I'll admit I thought about James, and I was like, oh God, okay, I bring a fucking homo in here and an Indian. How is this going to work out with someone like James, who you think is like the fucking he's the guy that's in a militia somewhere in the state, and he's a Second Amendment guy. He was one of the first people to email me and say, dude, I love it.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? I'm like, I've never even responded to him, but I was just like, that's really fucking cool. And I will tell you, there hasn't been a single email that's come to me or message, direct message, Facebook message, Twitter, nothing. Not one where someone went, this is bullshit, man. What the fuck are you doing? Have you gone woke? Are you doing what, blah, blah? And it's like, no, I'm planning on doing the same show I've always done, just with, different ages and, people's opinions are different. But I was telling you, Garrett, before the show, I spent an hour and a half on the phone with Raj yesterday, hour and 10 minutes, something like that. And he's going to be a fucking problem. He's going to be a problem.
Already, man.
Already. And I'm like, dude, bro, like, how you defend an 81-year-old fucking white man. You hate white people, Raj, you fucking Indian. What are you talking about? How do you support this clown who's a historic liar, a historic racist, like well documented lying and it's like he's willing to overlook all that because Biden's awesome. And I can't tell if it's the comedian and him fucking with me.
I think it's just never Trump. That's all it is.
Yeah, the Trump derangement syndrome is serious shit. But there's also times when I'm like, okay, this is a story that should be important to all sides involved. This is bigger than all of us. We're talking about, elitist 1% power warmongers versus the little guy, the peon, of which we all are, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, you should watch this, Raj. This is a good segment. This is something I'd, be interested in, blah, blah, blah. And he's trying to just dismiss it. And I'm like, bro, okay, I have to be able to fucking have ground to talk with you about, and it can't always just be about race. Like, this is serious shit. Like, so it's going to be interesting, and I'm sure we'll fight a lot. And I'm like, Garrett, I'm going to need you because you know,
gang up on him. It's all right.
You know what it comes down to? I think the common sense aspect plays well with white America. I think white America, for the most part, understands, like, yeah, there's right, there's wrong, there's a way to do things, there's a way not to do things, there's a way to behave in society, there's a way not to behave in society. And so it's like, yeah, this seems kind of reasonable. And then there are people that feel wronged all the time and like, this has never been my country. And so now you're getting a taste of what it's like to be. And it's like, okay, this just feels vengeful and revengeful. And so I don't know, man. I'm fucking putting a foot out there into dipping a toe, and maybe it's a total shit show. But
I'm excited. I think it's going to go well.
Yeah, I do too, because at the end of the day, you have a great sense of humor. You wouldn't listen to a show like this if you didn't.
Hell no.
And Raj has a tremendous sense of humor. And is a good storyteller and talker, and so
that's his job.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I did get an update from him, for those wondering, because I like I said earlier, I didn't want to say anything until it's like, yeah, flights are booked. It was kind of my thought, like, until you have something set in stone, I don't even want to go there. But it felt like it was pushing it too far down the road, because I was aware that he was in a car accident, and it wasn't going to be able to just be like, flip a switch, he'll be here tomorrow. Which was kind of the plan for the new year when I got back. It was like, hey, I'll just fly in when you get back, and we'll hit the ground and we'll start and blah, blah, blah. I'd been talking to you behind the scenes.
I was ready to go.
Yeah, you were ready to go. And it's like,
and then it was like, next week. Next week.
Like,
all right.
Yeah.
Let me tell my family real quick.
Yeah, just hang in there. But I did want to get you over here and kind of just sit in. It'll be a change for me, a change for you, a change, Isis will still be around.
Oh, yeah.
But Raj... I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. Well, I won't get into some of it, but he got into a car accident. And so today he was meeting with the surgeons to schedule out his surgery. And the reality is that could be 6 weeks out before he gets surgery. And then they don't want him doing shit for 8 weeks. But that 8 weeks, I think he's going to spend here. So I think he'll have that surgery, get out of the hospital. We'll fly him here. And then he'll stay here, and it could be a couple months straight. And we'll just hit the ground running. There's some exciting stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll hold down the fort until that happens. Maybe we'll Zoom with him at some point, stuff like that. And but I forget how infuriating it can be to talk to not a classic liberal, but just a liberal douche.
Oh yeah.
Overall, they're a piece of work unto themselves.
I'm dealing with it right now. My brother's a U of M student.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
college
sorry.
students are not fun to talk to about any social issues right now.
There are a few out there that I've talked to that are great, that get it.
Yeah.
But the stories they can tell about what's going on in their classrooms are mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
It is not the days of like, give me your uncensored opinion on something and write a paper about it. It's like, no.
No, you censor that opinion real quick.
You better write it the right way, and it's scary. It's crazy, but it'll make him stronger, I guess. But what's your brother like? Is he's buying all in?
He's not buying all in, but he does the other day, this is a good example. I was driving down the road and I saw a broken down, nice 89 Toyota Corolla. And I like old little, J cars, stuff like that. And I was texting him because he loves cars too. And I'm like, dude, look at this car on the side of the road. It's so awful. There was just a chick sitting in it on the phone. She didn't know what the hell she was driving. That thing was stalled out. I just wanted to rescue the car. And he's like,
yeah.
Did you have to mention it was a chick driving the car? Like anyone could have been in the car. Like, okay, fuck you.
Yeah, that type of stuff.
He's that type of stuff.
Yeah, and for someone like me, it's a minefield because I get descriptive and I don't mean it in any way. I'm like, walking on the street, there's this chick there and there's this black guy. And Jay used to call me out. T.E. has sometimes. And it's like, why you got to mention they're black? I'm like, because I'm painting a picture, man.
That's what it is, all right?
It's fucking radio. I'm trying to paint a picture. I don't mean anything by it. I mean, obviously, he's the laziest guy on the block. We all assume that. But still, I'm just painting a picture.
All right.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
Did you catch that, E?
Oh, I saw it.
I did that for your sake.
You'll have a good partner over here. I for the most part, I said it the other day when I told
you're a
story,
libtard too.
and I didn't like it. I actually said, I told that story the other day about the lady in the plane, and I don't know why I referenced her race. It didn't really matter.
What was her race again? Was she black?
Yeah, but I don't know why I referenced it. It wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
It is. I don't think it is as necessary as you think it is, but that's
No.
okay.
I think in radio you're very accustomed to painting a picture because you don't have the visual.
But if you're going into a bank and you're describing what visual are you painting by referencing a race necessarily?
Well, if you're trying to paint a picture of a scene that you want people to understand, there's a woman in a wheelchair, there's a black woman, and then a fucking what appears to be a homeless white guy with a sack of money, and then a black guy. I don't see that as
a wheelchair to me seems necessary.
Why?
A color, because it could come into the story. Like, dude, that seems like
your able-bodied privilege is.
I think that's
leaping off the page right now, Jesus.
We don't necessarily need to mention that. In fact, it would really probably only be necessary if it's part of the story. If you're saying you're walking into a bank and you're describing the people,
yeah,
I don't know. Well,
Well, dude, I've had some killer stories about my experiences at the bank down
You have, but you could argue
and
that
it was necessary to describe what was going on. Remember the guy that was like this? And he was screaming at the lady.
But that would fall under necessary. That to me.
But I had to describe him. And then the black guy that was next to him that they turned out they were neighbors.
But like, if you think about it, why is it necessary to say this black guy? I'm just saying, if you think about it, to me. Hey, you got your boy here. You'll be good to go. So,
no, it feels like I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying I'm right.
I don't think you're racist, by the way. That by no means do I think that. I will say I don't. And I remember when I told this story literally Monday about that. I remember as I said it, I will say I was like, I didn't need to say that. Why does it matter if she was black? But I did, so I'll say that.
Well, I had an experience with the warden because I think people are misguided on what racist means and what
I agree with that 100%.
You know what I mean? Like we were, and I don't mean to call her out because she's got a great heart and all that, but we were at it was during the pandemic. It was the first time we left the house, and it was like me and her and Marshall, and we went to like one of those farmers markets they were having in Phoenix or somewhere around Phoenix.
Right.
And it was just like tents outside and everybody, it was like crafts and, oh yeah, this one's got a fruit stand and this person's got selling their homemade honey.
Yeah.
And there was a fucking Asian woman at one of the stands, and she was selling pickled fucking eggs in jars.
Nice.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Right.
I like pickled eggs. You don't like pickled eggs?
I don't know. Dude, I've just gotten into eggs.
I forgot. You don't like eggs.
No. I never had eggs because my dad despises eggs. He won't
your
even
dad doesn't like them, so you never
So they were never in the house. He was like, Patty, keep them out of the house. Fucking disgusting. And so we never had eggs in the house. So I never had eggs for breakfast growing up.
Yeah.
So just recently, it's like, all right, I'll try. I never had an omelet or.
Oh, my goodness.
Never. Growing
Missing
up.
out.
Never. So, it's weird. I understand that. But he's still like that today. The old man's still like that.
I mean, that's whatever. Everyone has their thing. It's too bad that it was brought on you, though.
Yeah.
Like, you should have been allowed to have a nice Western omelet.
Yeah, no. It just wasn't around. The only way he would eat eggs is if they were like in a cake, baked in a cake or something.
Well, he realized there'd be eggs in other things, too. Like, if he's having muffins.
Right.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. But he wouldn't want to see it cracked. He doesn't want anything to do with it. It's disgusting to him. So anyways, we're walking around this farmer's market art shit, and it's all outdoors. And so that's why they felt comfortable enough going out during the pandemic.
Right.
And Amanda bought a jar of pickled eggs. Now, she likes pickled eggs, apparently.
Yeah. I
don't know that they ever got consumed.
Gotcha.
But we're walking away. She says something to the effect of, there's such, and she means really well. And I know what she means, but she's like, oh, there's so much Asian hate in this, people blaming Asians and Chinese for the fucking pandemic. These racist assholes, blah, blah, blah. I bought that jar of pickled eggs to show that I support the Asian community or something like that. And I was like, I'm like, okay. And I keep on, and all I'm thinking to myself is, do you understand how racist that is? You just singled somebody out for their race and bought something from them for their race. Like that's, like that's technically racism when you see someone as different because of their race. And it doesn't mean and I know what she means. I know what she meant. Yeah. It was almost, she could have done the same thing. Like, I want to give you a hug. Not all of us are assholes and think everybody with slanted eyes are fucking responsible for the pandemic of the globe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's what she was trying to convey, but it's like, yeah, when you treat people different because of the color of their skin or their ethnicity or their sex or their fucking gender, like that's the problem. At least that's the old school liberal way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
I would never buy someone from something because they were a different race, a different sex, unless they were smoking.
Well, she's trying to. I think it's a tricky thing. I don't think that's racist.
You identified someone by a different race because of their different race, and you bought something from them because of that.
See that? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no, see, that's one of the points I always make is like, look, when I'm telling the story and I say, hey, it was a black guy or an Asian guy or something, I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just saying, hey, it was an Asian guy at the store or something. But
yeah,
that's treating someone different based on race and acting differently based on their race. That's a little racist to me. I get it.
And I understand.
You don't have to be negative to be racist.
Yes, that's true. Actually, look up the definition of racism. E. Can you Google racism? They may have changed it by now. It may have changed at this point, and now it's just like anybody.
Well, I thought it was always treating someone different based on their race or ethnicity.
Yeah, that's what it was historically. But so many people have changed definitions nowadays to fit. Fauci's changed definitions of, what was the thing he changed that was so brutal about the way they were testing on animals or testing.
What was it? What is that fucking called? Here he's throwing the mic over. He got it right.
What was it?
Gain of function.
Gain of function. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
I don't know why I blanked out.
I haven't talked about it in so long. It was like, wait, what is that? Gain of function research. And they just changed. They're just like, oh yeah, that's not the definition of it anymore. And I know they did that with some of the phobias too. Some of the phobias they changed, and it's like, I don't know if that fits. I'm not afraid of anybody, because that's what being phobic of something is afraid of something.
It's a phobia.
It's a phobia. Fear. Yeah, it's a fear of. Arachnophobia is the irrational fear of arachnids, of spiders. All right. So it's like, no, I'm not afraid of. You call me a homophobic. I'm not afraid of.
I hate reading out loud, so I'm gonna throw it up here. And this is the first thing I went into Google, so you gotta take that kind of for what it's worth, but
okay. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Also, the belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to one another. So that's like all black guys have big dicks. That would be one of them where you're like, even though it's all black guys are better athletes.
Well, I think that second definition is actually the definition for bigotry.
Yeah,
that's a different word altogether.
Yeah, that's true. Does it say bigotry?
No, it just says racism. Because I felt like racism was treating someone different based on their race and ethnicity. Bigotry was just kind of making that the belief that different races possess different traits or qualities.
Right.
Positive or negative.
Positive or negative. That's true. That's not wrong. It does. And if you looked up bigotry, it just might be copy and paste of that answer. So, it doesn't look like they've changed much in the definition of it. They just think a lot more of it's going on now than is. But, teach their own, I suppose.
I don't know. Maybe it's my white guy life that's not seeing it, but I don't really see too much racism in my life, and I deal with a lot of people all over the Detroit area. Yeah.
Do you see a lot of homophobia?
No, I don't. I think the only time I ever experience homophobia is online when somebody has, it's not them.
Yeah.
It's never anyone directly being homophobic to you. They might have questions, but it's never anyone being hateful or homophobic.
Do you get crazy questions sometimes?
I get crazy questions all the time, especially at work. I work with a lot of blue collar guys. They've had their wife for the last 40 years.
Isn't that great though that they're asking questions?
Oh, yeah.
Because honest to God, because I've felt like that too, and I've done that in interviews. Like, fuck it, I'm throwing the world at this. Like, I don't know how this happens in this situation. How do you deal with this?
Exactly.
And it's like you're never gonna get that on a CNN interview with someone. And it's like, I think people's heart is in the right place, and they can be stupid. People can be ignorant.
Oh, yeah.
And there's got to be some level of allowing, like, someone's ignorance, especially with new stuff,
exactly.
the trans stuff, which is what I liked about Marina, was that, like,
that's
totally understood.
She's like, look, I get it. It's a new thing. People don't understand yet. That's why you can't attack them for not understanding. You just help them understand. And that's it.
And just because someone is like, oh, yeah, I'm all on board, I get it now, that doesn't mean they always were. And those people need to shut the fuck up, too, and not shame people. Cher.
Yeah.
You know, the Chers of the world, the Kardashians of the world, who thought Bruce Jenner was fucking insane and went on national TV saying it. Cher tried to fucking absolutely disown, you know, Chaz Bono or whatever in the early days. Like, that was crazy how they were. And it's like, nah, just because you got it, you lived that experience earlier than a lot of people.
I was going to say, wasn't Hillary anti-gay?
Till 2013.
About 2013 when she switched.
She was literally the last person in the country.
Oh, it's popular. Hold on, guys.
Yeah. I mean, they made jokes about it to her face on SNL at one point. Like, yeah, you came around kind of late on that. Obama famously ran on marriage is between a man and a woman. It's always the way it's been. Like, that's what Obama said while he was president.
Yeah.
And going for re-election. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is. But I'm sure we'll have plenty of discussions about all this stuff.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. And it's going to be, I'll admit, it's going to be hard for me with Raj because, there are some truths in life that it's just like, this is just a starting point. You know, let's start here. And if you crumble that base, like now we're trying to build up just to get to square one before we could debate the story.
Yep.
And that to me is like, oh God, we can't even agree that fucking grass is green right now, really? You know, where it's like, well, the white man made it green. You're like, okay, all right, great. You know, I can't help what happened 400 years ago.
No,
Maybe
it'd be something way worse. It's like the grass isn't green; it's red from the blood of the natives of this true
yeah,
land.
right?
You know?
Exactly.
I've heard podcasts recently. It was being made fun of on other podcasts, actually. But I've heard podcasts saying that they honor the land that the studio was built on. Like they'd say, like we'd also like to thank, you know, the yada yada Native Americans.
Oh my God!
Honor the land that we now have our building on. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. That's almost hijacking someone else's thing.
Yeah.
Like that's not for you to honor the land.
No.
That's not what your people do.
No, your people took the land, all right? And you built a big podcast studio there.
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. This is the modern day.
Or give it back.
Yeah.
If you feel that way, give it back.
Yeah.
You know?
If you want to honor it, give it back to them.
If you truly want to honor it, give it back. You know? You don't belong here. You stole this land. So I have a problem with that because I didn't steal shit. I've never stolen anything in my life, ever. So
I might have taken a candy bar or two back in my day. But.
yeah, I know lots of people have. I don't think I ever did. I just wasn't. I don't know why, but I don't think I ever did that stuff. Maybe that's privilege too.
I stole a lot from Kroger, but that's just because I worked there and I felt like I was owed it.
Yeah, that's different. I never worked. I mean, I sucked so bad that I'd get fired really quick.
Oh, I don't work there anymore.
Yeah,
I will say, hey, for the 3 years I
well,
worked
you don't
there,
steal from there anymore.
No, I don't.
Do you? Lot going on in the world. Why don't we get to some news? Crazy news. We'll start with a guy in Pennsylvania charged with beheading his father. Did you guys happen to hear this? Beheading his father, lived a fantasy life where he believed he was a successful musician, author, and presidential candidate.
What a hero.
Yeah. He, Justin Moan is his name, 32, released Spotify tunes, including I Miss Lauren. I bet she feels great. You want to see if you can pull up I Miss Lauren as a song? Jesus, I should have done that before the show. I don't even know if it's still out there. Cold War, Waste Town, They Came for Justin Moan, including lyrics such as fuck my life. I'm sorry, it's not your fault. Yeah, there's a lot of kids that feel that way.
Sorry, who was this by? Like, who was
Justin?
Okay.
Mohn. His various books, including biographies, seemingly written by him in the third person, praising his genius, cover a range of conspiracy theories and dystopian scenarios with eerily similar characters to himself. He's now in custody. He was arrested Tuesday night after displaying his father's head in a YouTube video where he detailed his politically charged manifesto.
I did see the screenshot from that with the head in the bag.
Really?
That's all I've seen from it. I was like, oh, that's fucking crazy. I scrolled past it.
Yeah. Yep. That's all they're showing now. I'm sure they blurred it, but
Oh, no, I just saw it was hard to tell what it was in the bag. It looked like a bag of spaghetti with an eyeball.
yeah.
I'll put it like that.
Yeah. It sounds about right. Here he is without when he still had his head.
Aw.
That's what he used to look like. Sans, missing head. So he's in custody now. His rant included proclaiming himself to be the Messiah, urging relatives of federal employees to murder them, Yeah, he had a real problem with the federal government, which,
I mean, I do too, but
he's
I'm not
making some
beheading anyone.
points. I don't think I'm going to behead anyone either, but I'm willing
I might make an angry Facebook post, but not
yeah. His books expand on his belief that he's the chosen one, calls himself the second Messiah, King on Earth. The description writes in the third person. The only thing more absurd than his fiction book is the fact that it's loosely based on the life of author-musician Justin Moan, whose 4-year stay in Colorado caused multiple lawsuits and changed possible outcomes of the 2020 presidential election by exposing 3 presidential candidates as corrupt, which forced them to drop out of the race. They're all corrupt, first off. Every single politician's corrupt. So you exposed 3 of them for being corrupt? He claimed that former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper and former Ohio Governor John Kasich sacrificed their campaigns to clear a path for him to the White House. I don't remember him being big in the race. I got to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys remember him, but I don't. He claimed he'd uncovered the scheme while living in Colorado, where companies created a constant level of unemployment, constant level of homelessness, and constant level of crime to fill up prisons. He's making some solid points there. I mean,
he starts off all right.
I'm still not with him on we're cutting off my dad's head and stuff, but he's not so far off base. So the Spotify account, which boasts 5 monthly listeners, it's not bad.
He's going places.
We all got to start somewhere. We're not here to judge. So 5's not bad. It's better than 4. There are people with 1, 2, 3, and 4 out there, and
he's got more than me.
Yeah, he's got 5 listeners. That's not bad. And this was so that's when people found out about the Spotify account with the dad's head in a bag. Great publicity. I mean, if you're trying to, I guarantee he's doubled his Spotify audience.
I would like
today.
to see a heavy metal band do something that hard. I mean, not since what was that? Mayhem put a picture of their guitarist who shot his head off. They put that picture as their album cover for one of their albums.
Okay,
so that's about as extreme as it got.
Aren't there some bands like death metal bands or whatever in Europe that have done?
That's what I'm talking about. It's a black metal band from Sweden.
Yeah. What's up with Sweden? They seem like such nice people, but they got some fucked up heavy metal
bored.
people. Yeah.
I don't know, besides IKEA, what else is going on in Sweden. You don't hear much about that place. It's very cold and dark all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they're just bored. And
the chicks are hot. I know you don't care about that, but that's what I hear. Wasn't that always the joke? Like, the Swedish
the
bikini team was like a big thing. I think they're all blonde-haired, blue-eyed. I think that's the thing. What are you looking at, E?
Okay, so I could do he does have a YouTube channel that has like 12 subscribers. It's on my Spotify, though. If you want to click up to your phone, I mean, I have Spotify, so you could...
Here. You can plug it in there.
Watch out, his explicit lyrics, it says. So.
Oh, boy.
All right. Let's see.
Hey, he's getting airplay.
But she don't miss me.
This is a 7-minute song. Just FYI.
Oh, not a good start. 320, kid. Come on. You're never going to get radio airplay with 7-minute songs. What are you, Pink Floyd? Can you fast forward it? See if we can find a hook. Let's see if he can write a hook. It's harder to, yeah.
Control all my thoughts.
I'm not quite sure.
What do you think, E? Would you go see him?
Fan.
Does he have kind of a Smiths vibe to him, or
Smiths?
like there's something?
He sounds exactly like Mac DeMarco, and that's an artist I actually like.
Really?
Yeah, this is
I was going to say there's something unique about his voice.
Yeah. No, it is 1-for-1 a Mac DeMarco song.
Really?
That's not his most popular song. He does have Cold War Waste Town, which has 10,000 downloads. Well, actually,
that's probably today.
Wonky Honky has 20,000 downloads, but This My Miss Lauren only has 4,000. 20,000 downloads, honestly.
Yeah, but he put his dad's head in a bag yesterday. That's why he's got 20,000 a day. He probably had 2
yesterday. Why doesn't I Miss Lauren have more?
Let's check it out.
Wonky Tonky?
Yeah, but I just didn't read them all, E. So his I Miss Lauren, Cold War Waste Town, They Came for Justin Moan. Those are all like his biggest hits.
So here's Wonky Honky.
A wonky honky. A wonky honky. A wonky honky.
Yeah.
A wonky honky.
A wonky honky.
A wonky honky.
Is there kind of a Chris Isaac vibe to him? Do you guys even know
don't
who
know
Chris
the
Isaac is?
Name's familiar, but I definitely, this is something, I hate to say it, this is something I've heard before.
I'm trying to think of what Chris Isaac's big hit was. God, I know people my age are yelling at the whatever they're listening on right now and going, yeah, there's something. All right, what else you got, E? Wonky honky.
That was Wonky Honky, and then I guess he's got Cold War Waste Town.
Yeah.
And there's his YouTube channel up there that has 12 subscribers. I don't know what those videos are about, but
What does it say down there? I am not the Justin Moan from the news.
oh, does it really say
Again, that is not me. Oh, that poor guy.
But that's how it's spelled exact. Okay, so I'm glad I didn't pull those out.
Well, yeah, that's.
All around. Who owns this place? Not Americans.
So deep.
It's in our face and on our land. We lost the rain.
This dude has 4 albums, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got like 6 books, too.
Yeah.
The clip was shared around 5:30 last night, remained on YouTube for 6 hours. The video with his dad's head in a bag before it was torn down over the, the gruesomeness of it. Violence is the only solution to the federal government's treason. I'm not too far off base there, I'll be honest with you. The cops, what do they say? This is the head of Mike Moen, he said, a federal employee of over 20 years and my father. He is now in hell for eternity as a traitor to his country. The funny thing is, I don't think his dad had anything to do with the federal government. It sounds like he owned a couple of small stores, like a grocery market and something else. So police officially, if you want to know what's going on there, police have officially called Michael Moen's death suspicious. So I don't know which Sergeant Gumshoe over there decided that he could come out on record and declare and be quoted in major media outlets.
I was thinking about this. When you said that this guy says, I am not the Justin Moore from TV or blah, 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 he should be playing it up, dude. He only has 12 subscribers.
Yeah.
Like, he should...
Get on it, Justin.
Like, just kind of say, I might be. I might not be. I don't know.
Hey, could be. The answer to why my dad's head was in a bag might be in one of these lyrics, Check it out. You might think of blue skies a different way. Oh, he's got a Tom Waits cover.
As money dwindles, we think
The father is believed to have owned 2 businesses, a cleaning company and a literacy initiative. Yeah, I think you got the wrong federal employee, pal. Neither of which appear in any way linked to the federal government. Police confirmed Moen was arrested in central Pennsylvania roughly 4 hours after the clip surfaced, after cops found him driving his dad's car. So, yeah. Police were first called to the house just after 7 and found a headless body in its bathroom. We're getting contacted by some people. He's well known in the community just by the calls we're getting. That doesn't sound good. You don't want to be well known in the community for shit like that.
No, not to the cops at least.
No. So he had 115 followers. There are now just 4 videos on his channel which feature him singing out of tune and playing music with a photo of his face. So I wonder if they got the wrong Justin Moen in this article, because that one looked like it had 4 songs.
A couple more, but
Did it have more than that?
they were right about the out of tune and kind of shitty music.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. So, yeah, he ran it against tax evading big tech companies, those behind the U.S. prison system, railed against a network of evil he said was plaguing America. He's making some solid points. I'll be honest.
Dude could have just started a Rumble channel and solved all his problems.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. I wonder, how do you get out of cutting your dad's head off? How do you get out of that? I don't think you do, honestly. I don't know, but yeah. By the way, the tackle ball game last weekend, the Lions and the Niners, and we had the Chiefs, and we had Baltimore, killed it in the ratings. Absolutely crushed it. And I mean crushed it. Primetime NFC Championship game averaged nearly 56.5 million viewers for Fox. Audience peaked at 59 million, just about 59 million from 9:15 to 9:30 late in that game. Go ahead, Isis.
Oh, no, I was about to say, not easiest, but
Yeah.
I was about to say, are you guys ready for the T-Swift Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Don't talk ratings. They're coming.
Dude, they've got airlines dedicated to her going out there, like to bring Chiefs fans out to Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, flight 1989. Like, hey, the year she was born. Or
What's her album?
yeah, and the year she was born.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. What did you think 1989 was originally based on?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the year she was born, and it's her most popular album.
Damn, she's that much older, that much younger than me.
Yeah, well, she's like 35, 34.
Yeah, it's got to be.
When were you
84,
born?
so
84, yeah. CBS drew in 55.47 million viewers. First time since 2014 that both conference championship games averaged more than 50 million viewers. Fox had the biggest audience for the NFC title game since in 2012 when you had the Niners and the Giants. So you had the New York market involved that brought in 57.64 million. Local markets for the NFC game saw massive tuning.
Oh, really?
I mean, in Detroit, the game had a 46.3 household rating and a 79 share. Do you know what that means?
I know it's a shitload.
That means literally 3/4 of every TV in Metro Detroit was tuned to that game.
Right, that's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, but it is.
That's a lot to get everyone to come together like that.
Yeah. God damn it.
San Francisco had a 30.5 and a 78 share, so they had almost the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, crazy. And then, we're going to get bombarded with Taylor Swift stuff. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on this. I understand the league is going to take every opportunity to jump on.
Why not?
Yeah, they just are. And I don't think it's a fake relationship like some people have speculated. Who knows? Maybe it is. I mean, crazier things have happened.
It doesn't seem to be, but I don't know.
Crazy. That used to be pretty common in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because back before it was okay to be gay, if you will, tons. You could imagine how many gay people are in the arts. And it was like, really? Nobody in Hollywood's openly gay? Like, that was a thing early on.
Yeah.
And so it was like you would have these fake marriages and fake dates set up. And it was like, you look back at it now, it's like, Liberace, you didn't see that coming, really? You know, Rob Halford, really? We couldn't tell he was gay. Like, so many people that, could comfortably come out. Now, back then, they would just set them up in make sure, they're going to be at Hollywood and Vine at 7:30. Make sure paparazzis are getting pictures of the new lovebirds. So that, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know.
I don't think a kid from Ohio like Travis Kelce would get involved with that shit, though. I just don't.
I mean, you're someone who I think, no offense, but I think you tend to really get bothered when things are shoved in your face. It doesn't bother me as much. I don't really care. I know a lot of NFL fans are really bugged by it. I don't really care that much.
I don't think they showed her that much. You know where all the coverage, like during the game.
But during the regular season, I know there was a lot of talk about it.
Yeah. At first, there was. But during the game, they really didn't flash to her booth at all.
Okay. I know the part I watched, they didn't.
I wouldn't think you'd need permission for that. It's like, hey, if someone's in a booth, they're going to get them on camera.
Yeah.
But they never showed Eminem.
Right.
They never showed Eminem. You have Eminem flipping off the audience in San Francisco. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you throw him on camera? He was out.
Yeah.
And there wasn't even glass there. That was just an open suite.
No, for sure.
That was crazy. And they never showed him once. Nuts.
I'm sure people will.
Taylor, the reason Taylor Swift gets so overblown, yes, the NFL was like, oh my God, it was like a brand new toy Christmas morning to a 5-year-old with Taylor Swift. And then it kind of calmed down. And it was like maybe they showed her 4 times during the game, cheering after a touchdown. And it's like, well, I'd rather look at her than the owner anyways, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But then what you get is a whole week of every media outlet picks it up and shows the same fucking clip. 10,000 times.
You are right about that.
And that's where the overkill, it's like, okay, enough.
But I guess it's just to me, maybe it's just I don't watch that stuff. So it doesn't
I don't either.
Me. So
that's why it doesn't bother me.
Right. So I guess there are people that must be watching that amount of stuff. I don't know. It just doesn't bother me too much for the most part. But
yeah.
Having said that, I don't have much of interest in the Super Bowl. So
I get it.
I'm too hurt.
Yeah, I get it. There's a lot of people around here like that. I get it.
I really feel whatever, but I don't feel
Jesus, we've just opened the door. It's just the start.
I know.
I'm telling you, dude, it's a decade.
But I used to always be like that, back in the day when freaking any of my teams, like you didn't make it to the, second round of the
Yeah.
Pistons or the Wings, you know. And then
Super
it's like you
Bowl
don't really
is
wanna watch.
a national spectacle. Like I said,
It is.
It's the biggest show in this country for sure.
I told you this the other day, though. I would say that I personally haven't cared that much about it in the last few years. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't watch it, but I don't like think to myself, I gotta be at a party or whatever. I gotta have my stuff ready.
Dude, back in the day, it was like you're reporting on all the parties.
Yeah.
And who's gonna be at the Vanity Fair party and who's gonna be at the whatever party, and it's just such gossipy nonsense bullshit that I just don't care about that stuff anymore. I never really did.
Yeah.
But I certainly don't now. I don't care what celebrities are doing.
Right.
Honestly, I just don't give a shit about them. They don't mean anything to me. I'm not terribly impressed by them.
Yeah.
I know what egomaniacs they are, and sociopathic egomaniacs at that. So I'm just kind of like whatever about a lot of that stuff. And, you know, I don't know. I enjoy the Super Bowl, obviously, and the fanfare is fine, especially if your team's in it. Obviously, you'd be more up for that. But
Right. I understand why you would be excited. And don't get me wrong. My God, if the Lions had won, the level of excitement I'd have for it.
But like, dude, remember early on in TDC, we'd be like playing commercials and shit from the Super Bowl. Like, here's the top 10 commercial list from the Super Bowl.
Well,
like,
I mean, we also, when we first did it, we had 100% we were doing Sunday night shows then, and we moved everything we did around the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like the first few years, I think we did it starting at 10 o'clock at night because we felt like we had to. Then it kind of became, we'll do it really early the next day.
Yeah.
Then I think by the end, it was not the end, but the end of Jay's time here, we kind of were just like, we'll just fucking whatever. But,
well, we were still very early in the podcast world then. And it was you still relied on like daily news from radio stations and TV. That was still a thing.
Yeah.
Like those people are absolutely worthless in the media landscape now. Worthless.
Yeah.
But they weren't 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Right.
And so it was still like getting a jump on news. You're competing with them. Like now, it's ridiculous. But yeah, American Airlines jumps in, and I'm trying to like get mad at it, and I'm just like, no, I get it. Okay, American Airlines is jumping in on it. Cool.
Well, it was like when they did with the Lions, to be honest with you. There was some of those videos of them playing the fight song going out of Detroit. I mean, I liked that. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're a Kansas City person, who cares if they changed the flight number, like you said, to 1989? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? And why not do the same for San Francisco, by the way? I don't care. Make up some little thing and people flying in, tell them, hey, this is flight 49 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. No, I get it. They have a flight just hours after the Super Bowl concludes with the number American Airlines 87. Ooh, so I got Travis Kelce in there. This one I thought was bullshit.
People aren't staying the next day. I guess it's vague. They don't want to spend the money, but they're leaving a few hours after the Super Bowl.
If you're flying in for the Super Bowl, you can afford to stay.
I know,
in Vegas
fucking
for a bit.
stay an extra day.
I mean, those tickets are outrageous, dude.
Your team's gonna. What if they win? You want to just get on a flight in 2 hours? You don't want to be fucking on the
It's
strip?
Sunday. A lot of people got to get back to work.
The strip. You're like.
I know.
When you say you're going to the Super Bowl, dude, stay one more night on the strip. Come on now.
I thought this was disrespectful. There's also a flight 1521. The morning of the Super Bowl from Kansas City to Vegas. Oh, that's Patrick Mahomes, number 15, and Kansas City safety Mike Edwards, number 21. That's disrespectful as shit to Patrick Mahomes. They just had a 15-21. They were like, all right, who's number 15 on the team? Who's
That's
number
right,
21?
right.
Oh, yeah, that's yours too. You know?
Yeah, that seems very odd. Why not just make it 15?
Yeah.
Wait, do you need 4 numbers? Maybe you need 4 numbers.
Mike Edwards, your safety. Yeah, AA87,
Okay.
American Airlines.
Well, then
87.
AA fucking 40 or whatever.
AA 15. Yeah, I mean Patrick Mahomes is literally the best quarterback
Sounds
that's
like a
ever
gun
played the
having
game.
said that, but
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so they're just gonna lean into it. I love the fact that it's at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders,
Right.
And it's the first Super Bowl ever in Vegas because Mark Davis with his fucking stupid little bowl cut.
Hasn't he finally cut it? Or no? Did he finally go to a buzz cut? I thought he finally maybe went to a buzz cut.
Oh, did he?
I
mean, that would be new if he did. But if you know so it's the home of the Raiders. If you know the Raiders' history, the arch rival is Kansas City. And their other arch rival is the 49ers from all the decades they were in the Bay Area, right? The Oakland Raiders.
Right.
And so there's, those fans hate each other, the Raiders fans, the Black Hole. and the faithful in San Francisco, and then division rivals Raiders and Chiefs.
Yeah, he's kind of. I think he finally.
Oh, he finally did
decided
shave his head.
Get rid of it.
Wow.
I mean, whatever. It was like that for years.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Boy, is that a new picture? He looks awful.
Let me see.
There's something about money that makes you have to dress kind of like a douchebag, and also,
Here's maybe a little better, but I mean, he doesn't look much better necessarily.
No, it looks terrible. Oh my God. He's got a white leather belt on, white stonewashed jeans, a pink dress shirt, and a white sport coat.
Right. He doesn't have to care, I guess. That's
No, he doesn't.
By the way, this has nothing to do with this, but just when you're talking about flights, I didn't realize recently that until just this last week, because I'm getting real cheap, that you can bring food on. Like, you're always like, oh, what can I bring on a plane? You can't bring any liquid. You can bring your own fucking food on a plane. I didn't really realize.
You can bring
that.
liquid.
Like up to like 3 ounces though, or some shit like that, isn't it?
No, you just got to get through security first.
But no, you can't bring like a water bottle in.
Sure, you can.
I don't know. You can't.
Of course you can. I bring
What?
fucking
They've stopped me before.
You have to buy
No,
You have to buy in
the airport.
I'm talking through TSA though. You
No,
can
no,
bring
no.
through food through TSA.
Oh yeah, I
didn't know-
always
I
have
didn't-
snacks and shit in my bag.
I didn't know that until just
TSA.
now. Because I packed a fucking lunch. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck this. I'm not spending $18 at the airport.
I used to buy snacks in the airport, which is ridiculous because they're
Yeah.
it's like buying snacks at the movie theater. But I would a lot of times bring them from home, just throw them in my bag. But then I go through there a lot of times if I've got like an afternoon flight because I skip breakfast a lot.
Right.
I'll fucking buy lunch and bring it right out of the plane.
I didn't. I swear to God, I didn't know you could do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was in a situation. The flight was at this weird time, and I'm like, I don't want to eat at the airport. I'm like, and I fucking packed a sandwich and shit, and
Hell
just
yeah.
ate it on the plane.
There you go.
Anyway,
Disney's at it again. Be happy to know they've not learned shit. Disneyland, anyways. I can't say what Disney World's doing down in Florida right now, but Disneyland, they found posters featuring a wheel of power and privilege. So they were hung in employee spaces, instructing employees that being white, cisgendered male, 0 for 2, shit, and even speaking English, I mean, you have unearned privilege that your marginalized coworkers do not. I don't know what they want me to do about that. I can't sell some of it, right? The wheel featured for all employees to see has the word power in the middle and is sectioned like a dartboard with certain traits fanning outward that are labeled marginalized. For example, being white, cisgendered male, owning property, and speaking English are all considered privilege. Yeah, there it is. There, Jesus has it up on the screen. Okay. I thought these were things people strive for, like owning property. Like that's, if you make it to that level, now you're supposed to feel shame over that. I don't subscribe to that personally. Speaking English, I mean, it's an English-speaking country. So,
speaking the native language.
yeah, the native tongue. I don't know what you're...
Go over to France and talk English. Apparently, they don't like it that much. They want you to speak French.
Yeah.
Why?
Let's see. While being dark-skinned, transgender, homeless, and not speaking English are all considered marginalized. In between the inner and outer circle, which would be considered not completely marginalized, but not totally privileged
They
either.
have things around this.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what is it? Body size.
So what is it on the outside? How does this work exactly? I'm not even kidding. So that's
So the closer you are to power, the more privileged you are. So you see
Okay.
power in the middle in white,
so where's white? So
neurotypical, stable, able-bodied, Christian, rich,
I'm trying to find something in
adult. If you're an adult, you have privilege. Yes, I have a privilege over a fucking toddler. Scroll down a little bit. See adult, a minor, or a senior.
I'm trying to find things.
Good fucking Lord, man. Erased. If you drive. If you drive versus public transit.
Wait a minute. What is the marriage one? So never married. Wait a minute. Whoa. What is?
Whoa. Hold on. I'm getting some points.
You're right. So what is the?
If you're in a monogamous marriage, you are a privileged cunt. You get out of here.
So
You get out of here, you privileged asshole.
So I'm really saved in this area, at least. Like, because I'm not divorced, though. We're separated or...
Never married, dude. We've got a little bit in there.
A little bit. I do manual labor in the summer, so that's a little bit of marginalized, I guess.
Yeah, unemployed or full-time parent, salary, those are the only options. What if you make like $2 an hour like some of us do?
My sister
what?
My sister currently is unemployed with parents, so she's got some major marginalized shit there. Even though
she can lean on it. She's blonde-haired with nice tits, so I don't know how far she's going to get with that, but she is unemployed and a full-time parent.
I mean, where do you put me in home housing? I'm not sheltered homeless, but I'm not a renter or a homeowner.
Yeah.
I think I got some shit here where I'm marginalized.
Yeah, you might, Jesus. Are you elementary or obtained GED? So the bigger piece of shit you are, the better, basically. That you want the most points, never graduate from shit, never strive to own a home, never get married, never just be poor.
I mean, even my wealth, I don't really know what my wealth is concerned. I mean, I have like, you know what I mean? Because of my parents, I technically have I'm living somewhere.
Sure.
I would argue I'm borderline.
Woke Bay, where are you in this?
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say, outside of white, and also, why is slim and muscular in the same spot? Because, like, I'm thin, right? And I'm so slim that my lungs have collapsed from being tall and skinny. Like, I've had medical conditions due to my weight.
Well, that should put you at the top. You should get points for that.
I should be getting a lot of points on this one. I mean,
dude, gay doesn't get you many points, by the way.
I was going to say, but young adults on that one instead of adult, so I can claim young adult. I'm only 26.
Yeah.
I'm throwing that one in there.
One of these, okay, so let's see. I thought this was which would be considered. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Just hold that thought.
Yeah.
Which would be considered not completely marginalized, but not totally privileged either. Cisgendered women. So they're like, yeah, you're still abroad. So you got that going for you. Literally all dudes can beat you up. So there's that. And then you've got gay men where they're like, we're on the fence with you dudes. We don't know what to do with you dudes. So people with a high school education and people who learned English. So if you've got a high school education and you learned English, you're like, they're like, we don't know what to do with you yet. You can kind of hang out in the marginalized zone and cry about it to everybody, but you're close to being pushed off.
Why is Christian in the fucking power section?
Well, look at the rest of Christian. Celebrates Christian holidays. Well, I'm not Christian, but I love Christmas. I haven't been to church in 40 years.
Can you imagine? Now, we were talking earlier about the idea of what's racist or not. There is some fucking racist shit in here. Like, I guess it's not racist, but it's whatever you would call it. Like, discriminatory. I mean, the idea. Yeah. Slim and fucking muscular means you have power?
Yeah. Yeah, they consider you the hottest.
What does that mean?
Well, what does it say for me? Where am I in there?
Oh my, you're probably in the...
What is that, small fat?
I feel
small fat.
I feel like, what, here? I'm just kidding.
Okay, hold on. Let's see what Eric just accused me of being.
I'm just kidding.
Infinite fat.
I know what that is.
What is infinite fat?
So Infinifat is not
Infinifat.
It's a whole separate new level of fat for people who are like 300 to 400 pounds.
Oh, fuck.
You're not that. You're not that.
God damn it. I want to be Infinifat. Oh, I'm large fat and mid fat, though, right? I could fall into mid fat for sure. I was large fat for a while.
Very slim, straight size. What is straight size?
I don't know. Non-gay?
Small fat and mid fat.
Mid fat. So...
What is
so for body size, I get some fucking points, dude. You guys are super privileged compared to me. You're both tall and skinny.
And I don't think too fast. Very slim's on there. I think I qualify for that.
Where's very slim?
It's right there with mid fat.
Oh yeah, but
that's
no, you're not that. Bullshit. You don't get to claim very slim because that's those fucking waifs online that are like puking up their food or whatever. Yeah, I think that's those people.
Fine, I'll take just regular slim. But
yeah, you're slim fit, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, besides slim, the citizen, drives, homeowner, and obviously white, I'm outside of that fucking whole power circle. So I'm everywhere else.
Salaried.
Like that.
What if I was at one point? Because I used to be salaried, so I used to have super privilege.
Just FYI, this is kind of what it looked like.
Yeah, at Disney.
At Disney, dude. I will say this: I'm not, and like you and me. Just today, we were discussing the idea of like, I don't think you need to mention an African American being at a bank or whatever. This would be. I can't even fathom seeing this at my job.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to say to that?
Yeah.
I'm just supposed to go, I mean, I can't even.
What does that mean, too? You have to give the right of way to the idiot that can't speak the fucking tongue? Like, nobody likes that dude. Everybody's like, bro, how long have you been here? Speak the fucking language. You're killing me, man. You're taking my order.
I wish I could read what this. Unfortunately, I kind of get zoomed. It says examples of privilege. I can't fucking see it. The zooming in is.
I might have some of those. We should accept that we have privileges. By accepting that we have privileges, we can see that not everyone sees the world from our perspective, and that we have privileges in our life that have hindered our awareness of the world.
I'll accept that I have privileges, but
no, everybody understands that not everybody sees the world the same way. Okay? That doesn't make your view right or my view right. The fact is, every single one of us that is born on this planet is born into a level somewhere. Some of them are blue blood stock, European fucking royalty, okay? And some of us are just born in America, which is a tremendous fucking advantage and privilege. I don't care if you're the poorest American in America, you have privilege over a huge portion of the globe. That's just reality. So nobody starts on the same level. So get that thought out of your head that you're going to have equity in life. I mean, come on. Who believes that? Bob taught me as a 2-year-old, life isn't fair. Fucking deal with it. I'm sorry. That's not fair. He got... Steve Poltz has a great lyric in one of his songs. My sister got 2 nickels and I got 1 dime and I cried because she got more. Right? She got 2 nickels and I got a dime. And like, but nothing is ever fully equal. It's never gonna be. So what are you striving for? Do you think there's gonna be some equity movement on the planet where, oh yeah, no, 2 shitbag parents who spit out 9 fucking kids probably aren't gonna have a great shot at having a wonderful life. Now, if your parents got themselves married, maybe went to some level of higher education, worked hard at their jobs, even if they started on the bottom, that's kind of important in America too, where you could start as the fry cook and end up the general manager of the fucking store. That happens nowhere else in the world. So there's all kinds of things you can do personally to affect that. And we championed them, the people that rose and did better, worked harder, and raised a family out of it. We championed that. That's the American dream. That's the story people tell. And now it's like you're an asshole for that. I just don't understand it. And I don't understand what are you trying to get people to do? Be pieces of shit? You want someone to come to this country illegally, never learn the language, never work, and then they what? They're on the outside ring and they're just a forever victim? Who wins in that? I don't understand. Like, what are you trying to say to these human beings?
I'm trying to figure out what you do with the information from the circle. Like, I could look at that all day and be like, okay, well, yeah, here's where I fit, but
yeah,
now
right.
What am I doing with this?
On some of these, I'm in the inner circle. Some of these, I'm on the middle circle. Some of these, I'm on the outer. So what?
Is there like a scoring system? Are you ranking your employees based on where they're all at? Or?
Right. Are you going to number everything in the circle and be like, I scored a 31, and we all wear our number on our fucking
I'm only 23%
chest?
racist today.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a 31. Wow, you're a 22. Holy shit, dude.
Better hold the door for him. He's a 12.
I mean, this is a mostly white, English-speaking society. Sorry, non-LGBTQ society. It just is. So I don't know what you expect everybody to do. I've got another story too today that I'll get to. I did watch an interview, and I would recommend it to all of you to watch. And I've tried to get this guy on a couple times. He's hard to get on for whatever reason, but he's done Jimmy Dore's show a couple times, and it's Dr. Robert Epstein. And this is what I was telling Roz to check out. And it was all about Google and analytics and manipulation of voting systems, societal norms. And this dude, the research he's doing, so Dr. Robert Epstein, not Epstein, but Epstein, is a world-renowned researcher. And he's got a whole team of people, a lot of them volunteers, but PhDs, doctors, and they are behind the curtain researching what is going on with Google, because I know a lot of you out there. I talk to plenty of you, and I know that a lot of you have this feeling like that I've had where it's like, what the fuck is going on? Why does everything feel crazy? Something that would have been thrown away on its face 10 years ago, now you're like some sort of fucking Neanderthal if you don't just jump right on board.
That goes exactly to the gay trans thing with Marina and I deal
Oh,
with that.
yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, look, it's a new thing. This isn't how everybody's been thinking for all of humanity. So
Right.
how about we just give them a second?
And I'll tell you
do
what,
our own thing in our own room.
I have another trans listener, and I haven't talked to her in a minute, so I don't want to give names or anything like that. But I don't know if she identifies as she, her, or if it's I can't remember. I have to read her things, but she's got she goes out in public as a female and loves doing that, and she's never felt any shit from me. She never got shit from people, ever.
I've gone out in public, and I'm just going to admit it right here. I've gone out in public in full drag and never gotten shit for it.
Yeah.
And I'm clearly a guy.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying too hard. I had a little makeup on, a wig. That was it.
Little beard.
Yeah. Not even the beard at the time, but still.
Yeah,
it's like,
you're not fooling anyone
No,
with your
not
body. Not anymore either. But no, and like to the nines, wig, dress, high heels, the whole works. Loves it. I can't remember what he calls it. Jasmine. He goes out as Jasmine. That's as far as I'll say. And I'm sorry, Jasmine, if you're listening and I'm saying too much. Just write me and I'll shut up. But this individual absolutely feels it now, is more worried about safety than was ever before.
Yeah, it's
Like the tensions are so heightened over this subject. And so you had a group of individuals that were just living their best lives. They were comfortable with who they are. They were going out. They were having fun. And now the society has gotten into the mix thanks to Google.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of respects. And I won't do it any justice at all. But if you really want, I think this interview goes back 3 weeks, maybe even a month. And it might even be hard to find. So much of this shit gets scrubbed. But it's Dr. Robert Epstein on Jimmy Dore. It's an hour long. And it's fascinating as fuck. If you want to know why you're feeling the way you're feeling about what the hell is going on, how are these batshit crazy people winning elections in cities around the country? How are these insane fucking people winning
support
of any kind in these liberal towns where it's like, and he shows a graph on here. He's like, okay, here's Google's manipulation of what's going on. And here are the results. Joe Biden with a win in the presidential election. So-and-so beats Kerry Lake in Arizona. Raphael Warnock wins his election. Here's with Google's manipulation flipped on. That's what happened. Yeah. Here's what happens without their manipulation. And Jimmy Dore asked a great question. I was thinking it the whole time. He's like, how certain are you about these? And he goes, so it would say Donald Trump wins presidency 10 to 20%.
Yeah.
And he's like, these lower numbers, 100% certainty. We can say with absolute 100% certainty, these elections go this way, period. It's not even discussable. And it's like, holy fuck. And he's breaking it all down, and he's explaining why and what's going on, and he explains why. This is why so many people in America are feeling like they don't even recognize their own goddamn country. What is the media doing? What are all these things doing? How is this happening where I don't know anybody that believes this batshit crazy shit personally. No. Yet they're winning elections. How is this happening? And it's brutal. It's a brutal takeover of society. And the fight is not between the right and the left. That's what's key about so much about this.
And that's what I always tell people. It's not a right
it's
or
the
a left
oligarchs.
thing.
It's the 1%. It's the global elitists versus all of us. And the more we fight with each other, the more they're ignored and the more they get away with. And the faster we as a society realize, because I keep coming back to, and I've said it, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record and get off on a tangent, but I know too many liberal people that are fucking died in the weeds, fucking hardcore liberals. And I also know them as great fucking human beings. Awesome, one-on-one, personal friends that are just amazing people. No, they're amazing people. And I love them to death. And it's like, but if you watch the media, it's like, it's just an absolute war between these people. And it's like, no, these are not my enemies.
Well, I've always told people when they start to argue with me or get angry about just a back and forth political debate,
yeah.
I just tell them, go outside, look around the grocery store and see how many people are actually being racist and fighting each other.
Yeah.
Just walk around for a bit.
Doesn't
Go down the
exist,
road.
man. It's the ants in the jar.
You'll see white guys holding the doors open for black ladies and trans people working the counter at Starbucks for whatever customer walks in the door, and nobody cares.
Yeah. It's hilarious, and it's true. It's true. I do see some angrier people in society, I will be honest.
I usually just see them online, or if there's you get enough of them together, they'll start amping each other up, and then you get
well, you're young
That
too,
goes on
so
both
you're
sides.
probably out more. What I've noticed, and I don't, hey, maybe it's just isolated incidents, and they mean nothing. But I have noticed that black women don't like holding the door for a white guy at all, or saying thank you when you hold the door for them, and I find that horribly rude.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't say anything back. I don't trip them.
It happened to me today.
Did it?
A little exact scenario.
Black
The
dudes
guys-
are great. Black
Oh,
dudes
yeah.
are like, yo,
100%.
thanks,
No,
man.
thank, man.
They'll put a little fucking
Yeah.
skip in their jump to
Like,
get
oh,
to the
shit,
door.
you know?
They'll do all that. White guys can be kind of douchey. White women can be kind of douchey.
No, I have-
Black dudes are the best. Black women are like, the fuck,
I had
man.
it
You're getting the
happen
whole
today,
next.
dude. I was filling up a work truck at a gas station. Nice Porsche comes up. Black lady gets out of it. I'm like, cool, that's a nice. I'm looking at the car.
Where'd you steal that from?
No, I didn't even say
Okay.
this. Yeah, I'm looking at the car. I'm like, I like this car. I mean, I'm looking at everything. It was one of those 4 doors, whatever.
Oh, yeah. The Camaran.
I was like, oh, yeah, Panamera or whatever.
Camaran or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Either way, I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool car. Anyways, I'm going into the gas station after that, and I didn't even know a black woman got out of it. I just hold the door open, right, and just walks right past me, goes to her car or whatever. I'm like, okay.
All right.
Walk in the store, grab
Yeah.
my chips or everything. She's coming back in the gas station. I'm like, all right. So I hold the door open again because I'm on my way out. Blows right past me, doesn't say
Yeah.
anything, looks at the guy at the counter and goes, I got the pump wrong. You need to put on this one right now. And I'm like, dude, just
Calm
easy.
down.
Like, nobody in here has said anything to you yet.
Yeah. That's not good. And I feel like that's.
And it's like, I don't want to stereotype. No.
No,
That's
no.
all I see.
But that's what I've seen over the last few years. I don't, and it's not all of them.
No.
It's not all people that behave this way. It's not. But I have noticed an uptick in that, just in my personal interactions, anecdotal at best. But it's like, it's kind of weird. I don't remember that happening very often. And it's like, I almost get the feeling the way that woman walked into that store and the way she glanced at me the way she did when she walked in, she fucking hates me.
Yeah. And
She doesn't know me, but she hates me. It's weird. Something else I watched, you might actually dig. Well, you're probably way too young, but I found it fascinating. It's called The Greatest Night in Pop on Netflix.
Oh, I heard about that through Drew.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
It was the documentary about the We Are the World.
We Are the World.
Yep.
And it's hilarious too because you get these, and Quincy Jones, like one of the things he did, he put something up, and if Drew told all this shit, tell me and I'll shut up.
Okay.
But because I know we split most of our audience. So so he put up a thing that was like, leave your ego at the door.
Yeah.
And but that's impossible. When you get these level of artists, leaving ego at the door is impossible. So they're all in there. It's like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's just so cool, these iconic voices like doing their part in this song. And they got video of all of it. It's awesome, but the egos can't help but trickle in. And it's like, dude, you have Bruce Springsteen and Lionel Richie and Cyndi Lauper and like Billy Joel and like Bob Dylan, like the biggest, Tina Turner, the biggest fucking names in all of music in 1985.
Yeah.
The global
And
leaders.
William Shatner for some reason.
William Shatner wasn't, but Dan Aykroyd was.
Yeah, you're right. Dan Aykroyd.
Dan
That's the
Aykroyd,
one.
yeah.
I always
it's
get those two confused.
So weird. And they're like, yeah, we got to get Dan Aykroyd. I'm like,
Why?
it never made sense. And they don't give him a line or anything. He's just singing harmonies in the back. So it's not that, but it is weird as shit. Even seeing him in the room, he's just standing there and you're like,
What are you doing?
Do you feel like an asshole? You should. You are packed into a room of absolute music royalty
100%.
right here.
Some of the greatest
Greatest
musicians
voices
of all time
ever.
will never fade.
Yeah. You know, you've got Al Jarreau hammered and Willie Nelson. And Willie is fucking just such a boss. So badass. And at one point, Stevie, they're like playing, I don't know if it's after the bridge and they're going to a course. He starts singing like Swahili. And when they're like, we are the world, he's like, ba-da-do-do-do. He starts like fucking bebopping in Swahili. And they're trying to decide. He's like, well, it's for Africa, so we should have, and they're trying to get all virtuous. Like, we need to have native tongue, And finally, someone points out, they don't speak Swahili in Ethiopia, dipshit. And another black guy's pointing out, that's not how you say that word in Swahili. It's said this way. And so now they're fighting amongst each other. They've only got this room for one night. And as they're singing Swahili, Waylon Jennings is standing in the back, and Waylon leans over to Daryl Hall or somebody, goes, ain't no good old boy ever sang Swahili. And he just fucks off. He's got his hat on. He's like, I'm done. And he just walks out of the room. And it's like, yeah, you try to push that narrative on Waylon Jennings. He's like, nah, ain't doing it. Which I thought was hilarious. Oh, yeah. But it was like, I just didn't buy it anyways. It was like, now you're all going to try to show how virtuous you are and how much you care about the people of Africa and Ethiopia. It's like, just sing your fucking song. Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie wrote it, okay? You're not going to do better than them.
No.
Sorry. Let it go. Do your stupid harmonies and fuck off. And it's a great documentary on Netflix. I thought it was anyways. I thought it was really good, but anyway, let's see. Should we stay with a little more race shit? Were you saying something over there, Jesus?
Oh, no.
I mean, we started with racism. We might as well end on it.
Yeah. And it's not racism, but I can explain some of it.
Uh-oh.
I'm no genius.
That's the equivalent of let me look behind me before I tell a joke.
Yeah, that sort of was.
I can explain this real quick.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Okay, so are you guys familiar with Issa Rae? Issa Rae?
No.
Nah, me either. I wasn't either. Writer, producer, actress. She's made some complaints about her projects getting canceled. You're seeing so many black shows get canceled. You're seeing so many executives, especially on the DEI side, get canned. You're seeing very clearly now that our stories are less of a priority. She said during a cover interview with Porter. I don't even know what Porter is. Is that a magazine? Is that a black-only magazine or something like Essence? Or so the three white dopes in the room have never heard of Porter magazine. Nope. Yep. It's made me take more steps to try to be independent down the line if I have to. Max canceled her comedy rap shit. Okay. After 2 seasons earlier this year, a black lady sketch show. I remember that was axed last summer. Never watched it. Never would. But
that's not for me.
No. The comedy drama film American Fiction, which follows a black writer named Thelonious Monk Ellison, who writes a satirical memoir that winds up being a bestseller. He copied the work of a best-selling author who wrote We Lives in the Ghetto, seemingly to pander to white audiences and play up black stereotypes. Yeah, I think we're good with black stereotypes. I'm not sure they're terribly healthy, but sorry. Playing up black stereotypes. I know the satirical thing that this guy wrote. I know what they're talking about. We's live in the ghetto. And it is very successful, but to each their own. When the HBO series Insecure came out, I was very clear. This is not a story about all black women. This is a very specific story. I've been Monk, and I remember so Monk must have been the character she played. I've been in the awkward black girl days, and even prior to that, feeling so enraged about what wasn't being made and being mad at who was in the spotlight at the time, because I was like, I know we're so much more than what's being presented here. I recognize that hunger of just wanting your work to be seen and attacking the wrong targets. I agree with Sinatra's, another character, I'm assuming, point that Monk's ire should be directed towards the white audiences that put very specific work about black people on this pedestal, as opposed to more diverse representations of blackness. I don't think it's a secret that many white audiences and critics tend to reward traumatizing depictions of their own biased perceptions of what blackness is. Well, you don't get to tell Whitey what, you can't make Whitey watch something.
No.
Whitey's going to watch what Whitey wants to watch. And if you write something, and if you produce something, and if you film something that grabs their interest, believe me, there are plenty of black artists that are celebrated all the time across this country. White people have no problem supporting that. No. They just don't. But you can't make them doing it. You know? And the fact is, too, anything that I've seen anymore is very not creative in a lot of ways. It's always some horrible racist stereotype. White guy's the absolute dipshit moron
yeah.
butt of the joke. And so, don't expect me to go fucking traipsing into the theater or look you up wherever you are to see that. And I'm sorry. When I pull up Netflix or HBO and I see the absolute pandering that's going on where black faces or LGBTQ or blah, 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 blah. And it's like, ooh, let me show how virtuous I am.
You want to know something funny about
It's
those?
fuck you people. No, that's not a way to drag someone into it. What?
The funniest thing about that, and this is just coming from me,
Yeah.
Marina. I have friends who are also gay. One of my best friends is gay, dating a trans female to male, right?
Yep.
Every time we see those categories scrolling past it, we literally yell faggot shit and skip it. We don't do that. We don't care.
I would expect
wanna watch
most
good TV.
normal gay people wouldn't.
It's like
They're
I have very little time in the day. I just want to watch something good and funny.
Exactly.
I don't care what it is.
And that's really what it boils down to. Chris Rock is fucking hilarious.
him.
Dave Chappelle is the best ever.
I'm halfway through a show called Loiter Squad with Marina. It's the same guys who do Jackass, right? But it was an Adult Swim show where they let Tyler the Creator and all of his friends do Blackass. That's literally what they call the show all the time.
Oh,
It's
wow.
called
That
Loiter
sounds
Squad.
kind of funny.
It's just
Is it funny?
it's hysterical. It's just Jackass, but they have black guys making the jokes.
Like, wait, is it a cartoon?
No, it's a live action.
Oh, no shit. On Adult Swim?
Yep.
Okay, I thought that was
I
all
think it's on
cartoons.
HBO Max too.
Yeah,
if you wanna watch
probably,
it. I
yeah.
highly recommend. It's a good sketch show. It's a little weird. It's got like goofy comedy. It's Adult Swim, so it's always gonna be weird.
Yeah.
It's definitely coming out of like Tim and Eric sort of camp, but
Okay.
Highly
Tim
recommend
and
it.
Eric is great.
Exactly.
I would totally check that out just based on the description.
Exactly. It's
The
funny.
only way I don't want to check that out if you pander and go, oh,
Support
look
a
at
black
these,
artist.
support this black whatever. I'm walking around California all the time, and the amount of signs on stores like black-owned business, and I'm like, okay, thanks.
Do you sell something I need?
Yeah, I'm walking by the window shopping like everybody else. If I see something in here, or what are you trying to tell me? I need to come in here and fucking buy something because you're black?
Well, your sister does.
Yeah, my sister-in-law.
In-law, sorry.
Yeah. So I don't understand who that's for. I don't know if it's working. My guess is it's not working very well, which is why they get canceled. Because at the end of the day, if you're not just telling great stories, if your goal is to just, I want to tell the blackest woman story I can tell, it's like, okay, well, you're the WNBA of TV and movies then.
You're just cutting
That's
your legs
what
off.
you are. Instead of just making something great, and believe me, white people can get behind anything. They can get behind injustice movies.
Yeah.
They can get behind racist shit and watch it and feel terrible. They can watch Roots and feel awful about it. Like, it doesn't have to be like a, hey, look at the black guy doing the tap dance for Whitey. No, it doesn't have to be that at all. In fact, that's insulting to us too.
Exactly.
So this idea like, oh, wow, well, we put it on HBO. We put a little thing that said black, whatever, black history. It's like, okay. And it didn't do shit.
No.
So it got falsely promoted. This category got falsely, Hear Our Voices got falsely promoted, and no one gives a shit because they know what it is. You're not saying, oh my God, this should be award winning.
Those categories just tell me the show's bad, but we have to watch it because it's progressive. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Like, I just assume any show in those categories is bad. I don't.
So
wanna
do
try.
I don't know anyone who does, but I don't get out of the house much, so I don't.
Somebody has to because they keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, they keep coming up with stupid ideas, and they keep failing. They just fail. They fail over and over and over, and then they just claim everybody's racist. And it's like, well, you used to have a way of doing things. Like, if you do a good show, hopefully people will listen. If you market it right, hopefully more people will listen. If you do a good movie, believe me, word will get around. Word will get around if it's like, dude, this thing will blow you away. And Denzel's proved that a million times.
Oh, yeah.
The greats have proved that. You think there's going to be a Samuel L.
I
Jackson
was just
come
about
out
to say. I mean,
that I
after
don't
Pulp
want to
Fiction,
see?
it's like Samuel L. Jackson changed the way a lot. Like, I talk growing up.
Yeah.
'Cause after watching Pulp Fiction, I was like, that is the coolest fucking way to say shit.
Hell yeah. And hilarious and brilliant. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's this idea like you're owed something because I'm black, I produce something. Why won't anybody watch it? And now they're canceling it. And then just declaring racism. It's like, I don't quite think that's how it works. But, they've got lots of dumb ideas that don't seem to work.
Yeah.
And it's people that I love this one. So New Jersey they've got a ban on plastic bags. And California does too. And I live this whenever I'm out there. It's hilarious because you go there, and we're used to Kroger around here, and it's like there's someone at the end, they paper or plastic.
Yep.
And then they throw all your shit in it, and you just go out. Yeah, I've got 20 bags of shit. Well, they expect you to bring your own bags. And they sell them for 10 cents each.
I was gonna say I just start bringing plastic bags from out of state.
I don't know if
store.
they might get mad at you if you brought plastic bags because they all have colorful, fruity. Think Trader Joe's bullshit.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, hey, you guys didn't give me these bags. It's all right. I'm in the law, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe you would be. Maybe you could. But you're supposed to bring it back. Well, okay. So this is going to save climate change, obviously, because the road to hell, right?
Oh no, it's not BP lighting the ocean on fire. It's plastic bags.
It's plastic bags and straws. And so anyways, back in 2020, New Jersey passed a law banning single-use plastic and paper bags in all stores and food service businesses. That law went into effect in May of 22. Since the ban took effect, though, looks like the state's consumption of plastic for bags spiked to 3 times as much. According to a report from Fredonia Custom Research commissioned by the American Recyclable Plastic Bag Alliance. So it turns out it's inconvenient for the public, and horrible for the environment. It's like, great, nice job.
How? How? What do they say?
The total number of plastic bags.
If they're using more, where are they getting them from?
The total number of plastic bags did go down, falling by 60% to 894 million bags. But the problem was the alternatives end up having a much larger carbon footprint.
What are the alternatives?
They're finding this in California, too. Most of New Jersey's stores switched to reusable shopping bags, the kinds often sold in supermarkets for 10 cents each, right? These bags are made with a non-woven polypropylene, which uses more than 15 times more plastic, and they are often not recycled. As a result, these bags caused greenhouse gas emissions to rise 500% compared to old bags in 2015. 500% increase. On top of that, people tend not to reuse the new reusable bags as much as intended. On average, they're only used about 2, maybe 3 times before being thrown away.
Why are they throwing? Well, whatever.
Yeah, here's what I run into in California because I've gone to this grocery store with my mom. I've gone with my sister a bunch.
Supposed to reduce, reuse, recycle, Mike. That's why I don't even use them at all anymore. But
I know you do a good job.
I literally don't use them. I carry them all in. It's a pain, but I carry everything I make in.
Yeah. You do great. So does Beth.
I'm not trying to say
you're well intentioned, but you know what it is? It's a pain in the ass.
I get it.
And the fact is, when you go out in mass, most people, even with the best of intentions, don't follow through for.
No, I know that. I'm saying the people that are using these. It's very embarrassing that you would that buy these and then not reuse them at least. Like now, it sucks that it turns out it costs more fucking shit to make them. Which obviously sucks.
Yeah.
But for that, I would say that falls in line of a very typical, I'm going to pretend I'm doing something, but I'm not. The reality is, honestly, those people that are pretending they're doing something should be doing what I do, which I don't use them, but they don't. They still want to have a bag. Obviously.
So what do you mean you don't use them?
I just literally, I fucking put them in the cart. I did this even on Mackinac this year, so someone can't sit there and claim I wasn't, you're buying 2 things at your parents' house. Even when I was at Mackinac, dude, I would put everything just in the fucking cart and then carry everything out.
So you'd go grocery shopping and you just keep everything in a cart and then just throw it into your car?
Yes. Yep, that's what I do.
So you don't buy much at a time then?
When I was at Mackinac, I was buying fucking hundreds of dollars of the grocery. I still would just fucking throw, and I'd have to throw in like my backpack and my suitcase, and it's a pain.
So, no,
it's not fun.
You care about it, and that's fine.
That's
I could
actually care. That's what I would say.
I could see you getting worked up as I was reading the story. You were starting to take offense.
I know,
but that's fine. I'll say this about Eric. Eric's been doing this since he started here. He brings a water bottle. He never takes a bottle of water when I give him.
Yeah.
He just doesn't do it.
Sorry.
But the reality is,
most people don't do
Most people do not. Think about it. Are you going to go to the grocery store? Here's what happens 90% of the time.
I know.
You get halfway to the grocery store and you go, oh, fuck, I left the bags on the counter.
Right.
So now you got to buy more. So
Right.
it's more of the polyprolifene bags and plastic
Well, all
shit.
the shit that we're doing in general, it is really, and you are, and what he said's right too. It's really you gotta have big corporations make the change. The idea of the elites putting it on us, the individual, to affect the climate change is absurd.
Well-
and again, it's really supposed to be reduce, reuse, recycle. Everyone a lot gets into this shit where they're like, oh, I recycle. Well, the recycling isn't doing shit for the most part.
Well,
most of
here's-
the stuff we give to recycling doesn't get recycled.
Here's the problem: these gas bags that run, that are governor so and so, and we're gonna put this bill into law, and we're gonna do this, and blah blah blah, and they're just full of shit, and nobody believes they mean what they say. So it goes back to November 2020. When Governor Phil Murphy signed a bag ban bill. Oh yeah, go get him, Phil. He touted the plastic ban as a solution to climate change. Plastic bags are one of the most problematic forms of waste, contributing to millions of discarded bags that find their way into our landfills, rivers, and oceans manually. With the historic signing of this bill today, we are addressing this issue with plastic pollution, offering solutions that will combat climate change and protect our environment for generations to come. Wrong.
Well, the other thing is, to be honest with you, is like plastic bags are at least useful. At least you could make arguments like, dude, people. I'm a nut job, but people mostly would want to carry their stuff in and not do what I do. But like, really, you have to go after things like fucking corporations that make Coke. All that shit used to be in glass bottles, which is actually can just be broken down and made again. Plastic can't, for the most part. It doesn't really get recycled. But they didn't.
And it used to be shipped over to China and dumped in a landfill on their part of the world.
So
and then they went, go fuck yourself. So now all the blue bins you put out at your corner every week, they don't do shit. They throw them right in a landfill. Right into a landfill. Zero of your water bottles are being recycled. None of them. They're all dumped in a landfill.
No, what really happened was Coke just, like I said, people like Coke just sat there and said, it'd be cheaper to put this in plastic. We'll start putting it in plastic. Then they fucking came up with ad campaigns to make us all feel bad that we're not recycling our plastic. When they could have kept making glass, but they don't want to.
Or aluminum.
Because it costs
Aluminum
more
would
money.
have been
Aluminum's
easy to
better
break down.
too, yeah. But it costs them more money.
And that
they don't wanna do
plastic,
that.
dude, is in our systems like you can't believe.
I know.
What it's doing to our
scares me.
systems. It should. And you probably have way less than me because I microwave a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I got into it with the warden again. God damn
I've
it.
gotten to the point where I try not to microwave shitty. I do,
Yeah.
but I try to cook as less.
You microwave every day you're over here. Shut up.
But when I make food initially, I try to eat more food where at least the first version of what I make
isn't.
isn't microwave.
I got you. No, I got into it with the warden. Well, I didn't because I didn't even say anything, but it was just funny. And maybe she didn't notice it. But we were at one of those Jamba Juice. Is that what they are in the mall? They have Jamba Juice or something? One of those.
Julius.
Huh?
An Orange Julius?
Yeah, something like that. Where they make and it's all fruits and vegetables and whatever. And we got one of those. And they've got a thing in Arizona. At least it was like this in Arizona. But they've got 2 containers of straws on the thing. And it's like, plastic and paper. And she's horribly offended at me because I'm like,
Taking plastic, dude. This shit ain't melting my drink.
Fuck off. And so I've got my large, and she's got her medium drink. And she's like, ugh. And I'm like, what? And she's like, are you really going to use a plastic straw when you? I'm like, those paper ones are fucking garbage, and you know it. And she's like, still. Blah, blah, blah. She's yelling at me, and our drinks are sitting there. Mine is in a large paper cup, and hers is in a medium plastic cup with a plastic lid. And I'm like, yeah.
There's your paper straw.
Yeah. Your paper straw went into 50 times more plastic than my shit did. Hilarious.
I'll say this too, and I have a little hypocritical side in the sense that I made a lot of money in the last few years doing food delivery, which is absolute trash, so bad. But I want to make my money. It's a way I found a way to make some money, not have to fucking have a manager and all that shit. But like when the pandemic hit and shit, for example, all the absolute don't stay in, get care out. Where were all the fucking people telling how much? Imagine, because they told us, by the way, by people not going to work, not doing this, that look at the air is clean, we're going to save some environment shit. The amount of plastic that probably went into the environment due to the pandemic because of DoorDash and shit like that.
I will say,
most people were not always going out all the time. Like you couldn't get McDonald's before this shit. You can get McDonald's.
No, not really. I will say, driving around LA, like the freeways in LA, it was incredible. You take cars off the road for a week and all the smog, All the shit is gone. It's just blue skies. Like, that happened because I fucking saw it. I drove it.
Right.
It was nuts. There used to just be a continuous haze over all of Los Angeles. It's all in Mexico City. It's in all parts of the world. But in LA, it was just like, holy fuck.
Well,
which is why they have such.
Hold it in, right? That's
and it all sits in the valleys, and it's. I think that's what it is. But it all sits there, and that's why they have such strict smog stuff. They've tried to improve it. Like, you buy a car there, it costs thousands of dollars just to get it registered because it's got to be California certified for their roads. Trying to combat that, but then you see like a light switch. What happened when it was like, nobody was out driving to work.
Yeah.
The delivery stuff, the problem with that is like, if you've got a family of 5 and it's like, hey, we're trying to do our part and we ordered food and one guy drives over and he brings over all this food. The problem is the amount of people that went, I want an Orange Julius, and had some asshole drive 10 miles to pick up an Orange Julius and bring it to you.
I know.
And then you paid him $5. Like, that's going on all the time. And it's like, you're ordering for one and someone's driving.
I guess the only argument would be well, I would have done it anyway, but you weren't. People weren't. It gave you the option where you wouldn't have driven out. You wouldn't have get in your car and drove up to McDonald's.
No, we're lazy.
You're like, I'll do it if I'm out. People. So, and I would say that's borderline on my end. I suppose you could say that's hypocritical because but I'm a fucking regular individual person. I found a way to make some money. I could argue that it's against the environment by being a part of it, but. What are you going to do? I'm not a fucking big corporation.
No, you're not. And you're never going to fix it by yourself. I mean, and my brother bitches a lot about this. He and I talk a lot about this because he's like, look, if you wanted to fix stuff, all it takes is and I'm not interested in the government doing anything.
No.
But he's like, if they wanted, they could just go, we don't do this anymore. Boom. And it stops. If they really want to go, we don't use plastic anymore, and there's a law that these industries can't use this or everything's like you could, and it's like smoking in restaurants, right? Where it's like, no, dude, you used to just walk through the mall and smoke. You used to walk through stores and smoke.
And you just don't do it now, right?
And you don't. And people bitched and whined for a 6 month or a year period, and now it's like, thank God no one's smoking in this restaurant or bar. It'd be weird.
Right.
It'd be fucking weird. And that's someone that likes to smoke is going, that was fucked up how we used to walk through fucking Harmony House having a cigarette at the mall. I think it's just weird.
I'll say this. I remember when I got my last iPhone, which has been a few years now, but they did a whole thing now with the one I got anyway, where they're like, well, we don't give you a cube anymore with your phone to plug in because we want to make the packaging smaller, blah, 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 right? For one, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then two, they're like, if you remember, then they started saying, well, we created a new outlet or whatever, so you can't plug this into your old headphones.
Yeah,
so
now you got to buy a new.
Which is another box. So I understand the level of hypocrisy that comes in with so much of these. The big corporations
and you know what?
are
That's
the ones who need
fine.
to do it.
It's the level of hypocrisy that people don't recognize, where it's like, don't start pointing fingers at shaming because, and you do a good job of that. You never bitch at me like, oh my God, have another water bottle.
I try not to.
Like Beth used to do that to me and I'd go, fuck off. What do you want me to do? I'm not walking around going, what amount of fucking whatever of the environment made went into these shoes? But if you wanted, I could go through your entire house and point out all the hypocritical bullshit you have in your house. And I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
So it's the shaming and the like, scoffing at.
I really have tried to take a philosophy of just like, look, I'm probably not even doing much, but it's important to me, so I'm doing it. That's kind of my philosophy on it. But
good for you. And it's the usual suspects too. So 11 other states have bans on plastic grocery bags: California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Maine, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington. All the same liberal shit fucking bags in this country. All the ones crying the loudest and screaming the loudest are the ones that have these. And you know what? Every single fucking one of them is having massive failure with this bag ban bullshit.
I was just about to
Every
say, too.
single one of them.
I'm the exact opposite of E. I stopped caring about recycling a while ago. I figured, you know what? I'm not having kids. I'm already doing more for the environment than everyone else.
Me too. Me too, buddy.
At
And
this
you,
point, yeah.
Isis.
I feel like we're probably the 3 most eco-friendly people here. Not here, but like in the area. With all the families and stuff like that. Kids cause a lot of pollution.
Kids are
and then they're gonna
all
have
of
kids, and they're gonna have more pollution. Those kids.
You know what it is?
pollution.
Diapers. The carbon footprint from diapers alone is the end
Don't
of
they
your
use the same
environment.
material to make the face mask during COVID?
And if they could find a way to go, fuck your kids, and they would. But, they can't do that yet.
Oh, population control, Mike.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Just can't have the question. Oh, believe me, the elites are having the question. The elites are having the question. Alive. Yeah, I believe it was, who was it that was saying that the goal was to get down to 500 million humans? Bill Gates. Yeah.
There was a really good...
was it Gates? Because that means erasing 7.5 billion of us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's big on that.
Not for him, of course. I'm assuming.
Klaus Schwab knows we'll just eat bugs and like it. We'll have nothing and like it, so...
Yep.
Stay in the dark. Should we do a couple emails? What were you going to say, E?
I was trying to think of it. You know what? I don't know if it... Well, there was a really good show on Hulu. Well, Hulu. It's actually FX, but Hulu's fucking where I get all that shit from.
Yeah.
Called Murder at the End of the World. It was pretty good. And some of the aspect of that movie, or that kind of series, involved the idea that very rich people were starting to build like bunkers,
Yeah.
And they were just going to fuck the regular people. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, I believe that...
Was it a series or a movie?
Series. You know what's funny? Someone I think I've seen that meme out before recently where it's like, I don't want to watch a fucking new movie, but if you put a show in 10 one-hour segments, I'm fucking in. And it's like, It's true though. Like, it's like, there's something about it, but...
It sure is.
It kind of had a theme to that, but that's I believe that that's out there. I believe that these elite people that are yelling at us about how we need to stop using plastic.
Yeah.
They're just fucking trying to kill us anyway. They don't care.
Yeah.
They know that we need to be dead.
Yeah.
They
do.
Happens.
Yeah. No, they don't. And if you think they care about you,
they would do
nuts.
what you just said. The reality is, they would say, that's it.
Oh, if they could go scorched earth on 7 billion humans, they would.
No, but I'm saying like no plastic. Like if they really...
Oh, if they wanted to, of course they could.
I always remember a story from fucking like...
This is the problem with lobbyists and the likes in bed with each other, making money for each other.
I think there was
You're not going to... it's why you need wars to pay for everything. It's the greatest money laundering operation on planet Earth.
I think there was I forget if it was Mississippi or whatever, one of them southern states. They had a deal where they really finally were going to try to get rid of smoking, right? Stop people from smoking.
Yeah.
They did a huge ad campaign. And the problem was they started losing that tax money from the cigarettes.
Hell yeah.
And it kind of just, it worked. People stopped smoking.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're just going to, we're not going to,
Yeah. We're just going to shut up about this for a bit.
Do you.
Yeah.
You
do you, however it is that you do you.
They don't fucking care.
Yeah. Do you think the federal government gives a shit? They've proven they don't give a shit when there's 100,000 Americans dying a year of fentanyl. They don't care.
No, you're right. Well, I
just don't.
Never heard anything about getting healthy during COVID. Just
stay. Wasn't that kind of silly how they didn't fucking say maybe
one time?
Maybe fucking take a couple laps around the block.
No, it was
see if you can get your BMI down.
It was pushing fucking go to DoorDash. Yeah. Go get fucking food, deliver your house, don't leave it. Like not go on a walk, go outside, go to the parks.
All right, let's do a couple emails. So we were talking about Corona, and we were trying to figure out when was it? So these texts by Vince McMahon, I think that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, that's how it came in.
It was like June of 2020 and June of 21, and we couldn't remember. James says Rona was over in May of 2020. BLM burned the country down during the summer of love.
Well, I mean...
That's true.
I get it, but I mean, you can't say it was over in the sense that we were still being highly affected by it through all of 2020.
No, he means when they twisted the narrative to say, some things are more important, but
that's over.
But they showed but they did show their cards when they said, except these protesters need to be out there.
I agree.
With no masks, screaming in each other's faces.
No, I
it was
but still, to me,
make that make sense. You can't.
Yeah, but I get it. But you can't. I think whether you agree with that's his opinion of kind of when it ended. You can. There's a real, to me, a dateline of when you could go to sporting events legitimately. But whether it should have been able to be before that's not my point. My point is how much it was affecting us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. You're talking about the first gen.
Right.
The first
That's what
wave
I'm saying. Like when I went
Corona.
in 2020, never mind. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's see. Immigration stuff. Yeah, there's a lot here. Okay. Hi. Hey, Mike. Wanted to let you know that whatever you do on this podcast is fine with me. I'm here for you. You have kept me listening all these years. I was a member at one time, but fell on some hard times. I'm hoping to sign up again soon. Long-time monster Karen. P.S. E can eat a bag of dry stocks. I'm not reading that. But P.S. if you ever want to go on a date, I'd come. I'd love to come. Gross. And hang out. That's me throwing myself at you. No, I'm not good enough for anybody. Sorry, Karen. You might be the most wonderful person on earth, but I'm better off just sitting in a hole here. Sorry. Yeah, no, and I totally understand falling on hard times. I really do. So I appreciate you being a member when you were, blah, 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 or a member when you were, and I'll do some member content soon. I'm thinking about doing a once-a-week member show and making it available to all members, even ones that don't necessarily that are at a tier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, fuck it. Just do a one show a week that's just for members. And
There's a couple podcasts I listen to that I actually subscribe to with, payment because they do one show a week. It's like the Wednesday show. And
Yeah.
it's just worth it to me. I'm
Yeah.
cool with $5. It's like a movie to me.
Yep.
One show. It's all I need.
That's great to hear. I just thought about that the other day. I was like, fuck it. Because when I post stuff, it says, oh, who doesn't get to listen? And it's like, fuck me, man.
Yeah.
Because it's the way it's set up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a show and let all the, because I get it, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't pay more than $5 to listen to something right now. This has been a shit show for me. So I totally get that. And I don't want to keep people that are doing that away. I understand, you got to incentivize other tiers and those people keep it alive. So it is what it is.
The real question is, when are we getting the TDC branded red fanny packs?
Never.
Oh.
We could do those. They're back in style, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I wear fanny packs all the time. I do the cross chest.
The cross chest. Yeah, they're all over
I'm
California.
going to 100% buy one, too, because I'm going to this big music festival this summer, and it's the best way to be in a large crowd and know that your kind of thing is getting more secure to you versus a fucking pocket or some shit. I would say that. So I'm going to be buying myself a fanny pack soon.
A TDC fanny pack,
if it was available.
All right. New format. This is from Andy. Hey, Mike, been a casual listener for a while now. I think the new changes you have coming will be a positive. I think it's cool having opposing viewpoints on the show and another true professional joining the staff. Hope you're feeling well. Yeah, I'm feeling okay.
Oh, thanks. You called me a professional.
Yeah.
It's my first day.
Subject, hell no. Hey, Mike, can't wait for the new show format. There's no reason why I should ever be anything other than an emailer sending in my silly takes. Okay, this is Bone Job, Connor. And he's responding to James, who said you should have Connor on the show.
I was going to say, I can see the picture through the email.
Yeah,
now I know
there you go.
exactly what you guys are talking about. That definitely looks like Pablo.
Pablo, you see it in there?
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate the love, James, and you and I need to have some beers one of these days. I appreciate the love. You're missing a comma there, Bone Job. I appreciate the love, comma. James and you and I need to have a beer one of these days. I'd love to. I'm glad you are having a comedian on the show. For the very first time ever, there will be a comedian on the show, which should produce humorous takes.
Hilarious. I get it. I think that's a shot.
Also, I think you and Raj have a unique way of sharing your differences respectfully. Can't wait. With love, Connor. P.S. Henson is a complete clown, and that can't keep a job anywhere because he's a moron.
Oh.
And I don't disagree with him politically. He is a complete clown. I love Greg.
I just don't like his what would you say, real
Hey,
jaded.
Dude, he's
sports.
55. He's jaded. What
His
are you gonna
jaded
do?
spread. He's worked in the thing. I get it.
Yeah.
He's got to know the people.
Yeah. All right, let's call it a day. I'm gonna make you late for dinner. That's fine. And I'm late for dinner too. So, hey, thanks for coming by today, brother. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Thank you for having me. I'll
Yeah,
be
of
back
course.
tomorrow if you guys have
I hope your dad approves.
You'll be all right.
He'll be all right. No, he
was on the show, so he's going to be a little iffy, but you'll be okay afterwards.
He what?
I said he was on the show, so he might be
Oh
a little
yeah,
iffy.
yeah, he'll be all right. If anyone can handle
not a
you,
huge
they
fan.
can plow through. It'll
Yeah.
be good. No, I'm excited, man, and I'm glad you're here. And E and I will be back tomorrow, and we'll do something very similar. So have a great rest of the day, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.